teach you what. Okay, our next half-hour session or so is going to be based on some basic movement and some hand speed and setting up double kick attacks. Okay, so let's just get a little warm up. We're just jogging on the spot to jog it out, loosen out the arms. That's it. Bring them back. Make sure you got room. We've been moving around the room tonight on this. Remember, after this, we got 2 more tutorials. One based on Form 1A and 2 punch defense techniques from technique set 2. Okay, bring the arms out. Then the jumping jacks. Check to the front. And punching side to side. Bring the heels up. Swing the arms up and down. Get your heels right up off your backside. And roll out the elbows and shoulders. Roll them back. Shake out the hands. Pull the knees up, reach up, pull down. That's it. Knees as high as you can. And yummy. Okay. Left leg out in front, let's sit back, stretch it down. Push the knee right back. Stretch into it. We'll be following up this week with more tutorials on our bow staff and a katana. We take them on further. Hope you guys enjoyed them last week, our sword and our bow staff. Bring it up, change legs. And remember, if you didn't get a chance to work on them, they're here in the video library on the Facebook group and also on our YouTube channel, Fight Fit Dojo. You'll find them. Loads of videos there to work from. That's it, bring it down. Come up, come down the middle. Both knees lock back, stretch it down. Try and push the chest down even more. Lock the knees back. And bring it back up. Out to the center. Walk them out, keep the hands down there, get your balance. Now don't go too far forward or too far back. Okay, heels, knees and hips should all be in line over the same line. So you don't want your hips going forward. Okay, should all be over the same line. The easy way to do this is put a belt on the floor and use it as a guide. When you're in the dojo, use the tiles on the floor as a guide on the box you're standing in. Should all be in the same line. That's it. Lift the heels. Watch yourself if you're in socks on a slippery floor. Okay, come in halfway. Down that left side. And down the right. Center. Let's walk it in, keep the hands there. Good, up we come. Loosen out the hips. Opposite way. Stretch up on the left. Stretching the quads at the front now. We've done the back, the hamstrings, quads next. Change to the right. Just lie down on the floor. Put your right leg out straight, pull your left knee. Take your knee and ankle, pull them up towards you. Doesn't matter which hand you pull up. Pull that up so you feel the stretch in your backside and the glutes. Change legs. Opposite leg. Big stretch. Pull that knee up right back. Good. Down up to the feet. Okay. Just tidy up the uniform. Okay, now I know you're training at home, you wouldn't always wear a uniform, but it is a good idea to wear your belt because the knot in the belt in the center gives you good direction of what way your hips are pointing. And as we've worked on last week's tutorials, the importance of locking that hip in, and we'll be doing that in a moment with our movement. Okay, stepping back into our stance, high, guard up, loosen the leg to the outside, each, knee, san, shi, go, back to the inside, each, knee, san, shi, go, straight up, each, knee, san, shi, go, come set, opposite way, each, knee, san, shi, go, back to the inside, each, knee, san, shi, go, straight up, each, knee, san, shi, go. Okay, just adjust the camera slightly. So, we're going to work a little bit on basic movement. A few minutes. Now with this, we're going to be moving in our horse and bow stance, which from a fighting point of view, you would never really do in a defense situation. What it will do is it's going to work with us on how to emphasize that twist we spoke about last week. Double motion with the arms as we lock and trying to drive power through our whole body into our fist and not just with our hands. And that will also come into play with our blocks. As one block came in, everyone was just used to block and his other hand will hang down here or swing around to get in that, pulling the other hand back in that double motion to generate power. And what it does is it locks in more muscle groups in the body, not just this arm hinging on the shoulder, but it locks in everything and makes your forearm, your shoulder, your torso, and the other side of your tense and rigid harder. So that if you have to block, you're much stronger. Your whole body is set up, boom, rigid, stiff. Okay, so we're going to work on the idea that you guys might have 2 to 3 paces towards your screen. And we're going to work this very basic. Let's start with some blocks, then we're going to put in some punches, then we're going to do some combinations. Okay, we finish that, we go into some hand speed exercises. So make sure if someone's nearby, get a towel, t-shirt, something of cloth around that you can be using for your hand speed exercises. So let's begin. Diagonal horse stance, down, guard is up. Remember, as we move forward, we V in and out, and we're going to lock. And both hands lock in. Inward blocks, okay? We're going to go for 3, then we run back, switch your stance, go for another 3. Everything is in 3. So, solid stance, geared up. Each, ice, knee, ice, sun, ice, and back. Let's switch your stance, right foot forward this time. Opposite stance if you were the other way. Each, ice, knee, ice, sun, ice. Good. Now we're going for our upward block. On our upward, the other one locks down to the hip. Left foot forward. Each, ice, knee, ice, sun, ice. Good. And back. Right foot forward this time. Ready? Each, ice, knee, ice, sun, ice. Now, you can kia, you can exhale, you can as I do. Just get that air blown out of the body for extra emphasis. Downward block this time. Left foot forward. Ready? Remember, don't lean forward on this. The hand blocks out. Each, ice, knee, ice, sun, ice. Hand back. Opposite hand, opposite foot forward. Ready? Each, ice, knee, ice, sun, ice. Good. Outward block this time. And again, whip that other hand out back to the hip. Should have yourself slightly out of breath on this. Ready? Outwards. Ice, ice, ice. And again, I forgot my count that time. Apologies. Right foot forward. Each, ice, knee, ice, sun, ice. And back. Okay, that's our basic blocks. Very simple stuff. Okay, now we're going to switch to our bow stance and we're going to take it into our reverse punch. We're going to slow this one down and talk a little bit about our reverse punch. Everyone gets so focused on that hand ending out in front of you. That biggest mistake, and it's made from the youngest beginner to the eldest beginner, the youngest senior grade to the eldest senior grade. Very often happens is this happens. We do that step and this hand just flops or comes around in this arc. And this happens, step around, okay? It loses all the power of the punch. The punch has got to travel. If I'm traveling in a straight line, the knot of my belt is heading towards my attacker. My punch has got to follow that line. It comes straight up the middle. And when it arises, it twists on impact. And as it twists, that's when the hip, and I'm firing every power I have from my foot, knee, hip, torso, shoulder, all through that into that punch. Okay, and locking in. And I'm using that back leg to lock the hip as I push through from my bow stance. I'm using this leg like a spring, pushing me forward into the punch. Okay, so let's try it. Again, if you got a belt on, that knot stays facing forward. If it starts turning to the side, you're rolling your shoulders and the power of your punch is going around in a curve and it's going away from your target. You want all that power going through the target. Okay, we're in our bow stance. From here, I'll show you one. We're going to V in slow motion. V in and out as I land. Lock. And that back hip locks through. The knot in the belt. Ice. Still faces forward. Let's give it a go. Left foot forward to start. And power. Ready? Each. Tap. Knee. Tap. Sun. Tap. Hand back. Right foot forward this time. Ready? Each. Tap. Knee. Tap. Sun. Tap. Good. Okay. Last couple of drills on this. Let's put it together. Some blocks and punches combined. Now, what tends to happen here is our brain gets so focused on get the block, get the punch, get all the power and all of what we're trying to achieve with our foot movement, our hip movement, the power of that double action all disappears, or one of them disappears and upsets the rest of the movement. So we're going to slow this down. Okay, focus here is power. Strike hard, body position, where my feet are, where my hips are. Cock and action coming back, Okay, fist nice and tight, and keeping that line going forward. So the first move we're going to move with is very simply slow motion, feeling out inward block and reverse punch. Then we bring the guard back up. Okay, so blocking, there's the power there, and then we get that big twist, nice, into the whole hip coming in, back up. We got it. That power comes on the block, and the power, we're in a horse stance, and then we drive through into that bow stance to finish it off. Okay, with the power. So, left foot forward, horse stance. Reach, yes, knee, yes, sun, and back, good. Now I'm being quite vocal and quite loud on this, so get the power. Okay, aggression. You might only get one chance to fight off an attacker. If it's in competition, that power and aggression is enough to mess with your partner, your opponent's mind. Make them a little bit, oh gosh, this guy's very aggressive. I'm a little bit afraid of them. And it gives you the little edge in competition. And it also makes you feel stronger, more confident. Don't be afraid. Verbalize. Okay. Right foot forward, same again. Inward block and reverse punch. Ready? Heat. Tap. Knee. Tap. Sun. Tap. Good. Okay. We're going to go add one in. This time we're going to outward block, thrust punch, reverse punch, guard up. Okay, so the same hand that does the block does a jab or thrust punch, comes back, and then the reverse punch. Ready, left foot forward. We're going to step through, the right hand will come up, thrust, and we turn again. The hip turns into it as we lock back to the bow then. Okay, ready? Each, tap, knee, tap, sun, tap. Good. And again, that outward block, whip the other hand back. Once more. Right foot forward. Ready? Each, tap, knee, tap, sun, tap. Good. Okay. Let me bring our camera back up slightly. Here's some very, very, very basic movement drills, but something you should try and practice as much as you can. Break down the movement slow, because if it comes time to spar, then you get used to that. Block, twist the hip from a short stance. The legs and hips are powerful because we've worked them from wide stance. They come up short. They're very strong. Okay, let's move on to a little bit of hand speed. Now, we've done this one in the past. Very, very simple, a little bit of fun. You will need a towel, cloth, t-shirt, something off cloth. If you want, you can put a knot in the top of it, makes it feel a little bit heavier, so it will drop quicker. Don't have a cloth too light, not like a jet cloth or a kitchen cloth, because it might be too light and it'll move through the air a little bit slower than the heavier cloth. Not a lot, just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to stand, and the idea on this is to get that twist motion. Our hand will be on our hip, it's going to come out, and we want to grab, and that's where we get our twist motion. But also, we've got to get it out, and we want to pull it back in as quick as possible for speed. Okay, we've done this one before. Let's get in our horse stance. Feet out, drop down, hold the cloth out, and you're just going to drop it. And drop it. As you drop, you're going to try and switch hands as if you're punching, and pull it back in before it hits the floor. Okay? Now, hopefully this doesn't go horribly wrong on camera. Now, as we get tired, you're going to find coming up. Let's try and stay down on this. Okay? Like so. And pull it back in. Okay? Put it back in the same hand. So when you grab it, pull it back in. Ready? Hold out with your left hand. And you're going to punch with the right. And pull it back in. Both hands back into cocking action. Ready? Each. Knee. Sun. She. Go. Good. Switch hands. Each. Knee. we put this down for a moment. Up to now, in our previous tutorials and today, about the twist of the hip, horse to bow, and the amount of power that generates. And again, we've touched on this exercise before. What we're going to do this time is, keep the towel away for a moment. We're going to stand on horse stance. We're going to hand the towel out the side. I'm just going to open that hand. And as I do, I'm going to reach across. See the way I've twisted? It's about to grab, to pull it back. What that gives me is that twist, speed and power, the hip engaging. Okay, so hold it to the side, in our horse. Each height. I reached the towel, but I didn't get a good grip. Okay, caught the knot and knocked it on the floor. Can happen. You might hurry to get back. Ready, let's go again. Knee, height, and back. Sub, height. She, height. Go, height. Rook, height. Cease, height. Ash, height. Missed again. You have to come with a penalty, 20 press ups or something. Opposite side, we go for 8 the opposite side. Ready? I'll put my knot back in, my knot has come out of this. Okay, ready? Bloopers, we leave them in. Shows we're all human. Okay, ready? Each height. Knee height. Set height. She height. Go height. Root height. Cease height. Hush height. Do height. We missed on the second last. On the last. Okay. That's something you can try yourself. And also get someone else to hold it in front of you. And you got one of each hand, you got to guess which hand is gone and go from the straight position, go up to the side position. One final one for you to try, and we'll leave you try this on your own, we'll come back to it next time, is from here I let it go and you got to get out and back in with the same hand before it drops. So from here, like so, double punch. Okay, we'll come back to that one the next day. So what we're going to do is move on to some kick work now. Okay, so let's work on setting up double kicks. And double kicks means obviously 2 kicks. Not necessarily the same, but one setting up the other. The first one drives the opponent back and the second one goes in if it's the first one is blocked to score a point or to do damage depending on the situation, if it's competition or if you're defending yourself. And the simple one we're going to move on today is our straight kick followed by our roundhouse. Okay, now remember, with the straight kick, knee must come up and kick out, back in and down. Knee comes up, stays tucked in, out, back in and down. With the roundhouse, the knee comes up, okay, up, turns on its side, comes around, kicks, but must come back before it comes back down. The mistake a lot of people make is we kick and just drop. We want to pull that back in, okay? So remember those. You have your basic kicks. We're just going to work with Bob now on the double kick. First kick, we aim towards groin or midsection, as we say. Groin's below the belt, midsection anywhere between the tummy and chest. Okay, groin, very painful place to kick. In the tummy, yes, they can do a lot of press-ups or sit-ups, have rock hard abs, but unless they're quick enough to see that kick coming, they mightn't get to tense those muscles. In here, you've got all your intestines. Okay, twist backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. About 40 feet of them in there. Your food comes from your tummy through your intestines and passes through your body. Up here on the right side, we've got the liver. Okay, Very, very short kick to the liver. It's full of blood, it's full of nerve energy. You kicked in it, it's incredibly painful. Okay, just on the person's right hand side. So if you're kicking them, it's on your left. Where the rib cage meets, there's a little circle, roughly smaller, roughly the size, about half the size of your fist. Where the top of the abdominal muscles, your stomach muscles, the little gap before the top of your rib, bottom of your rib cage, in there the solar plexus, you get kicked there. There's a massive muscle under your lungs that goes up and down, makes the lungs work, called a diaphragm. You can send that into a wobbling state, spasm as it's called, can win the person. Okay, just a couple of strike targets. That's where we're aiming for. Any one of those three on your straight kick, and you follow me straight up with your roundhouse either into. If it's a street situation, yes, you can go for the thigh, kick the leg or the knee, can be down low, or under the side of the ribs, your kidneys, or if you're quick enough and fast enough and powerful enough, side of the neck or head. Be careful with headshots, because unless you're quick and good on your balance and rechamber in your kick, you can lose your balance, or you can be caught by a quicker fighter and in a lot of trouble, because when that foot is up high, your balance isn't as strong. For the moment, we are going to work 1, 2. Okay, make sure one kick comes up, it lands slightly in front. You've got to turn your body for the roundhouse. 1, 2, and back. Okay, now I haven't got the benefit here of when I kick him, he's moving back. So I'm going to be in very close range with him. You 5 on the left, 5 on the right. I want you guys to practice after this as best you can. Thought we were out of focus there. Okay, we come back. Ready? Each, nice, nice, and back. Knee, kick, and kick. Good. Sun, 1, 2, back. I'm going for some headshots there. She, nice, nice. Go, nice, nice. Good, opposite stance. Ready. Each, hey, nice. Knee, nice. Sun, nice. She, nice. And go, nice. Good. A very quick drill, and something you should try as often as you can. One leg behind, kicking up, land, turn the hip, kick, rechamber the kick. Okay? So, things to recap on in your movement. Emphasizing power in the hands when they block, the hips and legs and all the body when you punch. Okay? Hand speed. Simple drills, dropping the cloth and twisting to grab. To get that motion out and back in. Work on the speed. As you build up to that, you can pick a heavier object or something more difficult to catch. Okay? Start with your eyes shut, wait for your opponent to go, and you got to open your eyes and react then. See how quick your hand speed is, something you can also do for blocks. And finally setting up the double kick. Very basic one in that square. Front kick, roundhouse, keeping the guard up. Okay? So after this, make sure to tune into our next few tutorials. Okay, one on Form 1A and also on 2-punch defense techniques for technique set 2. Well done, folks. Domo, arigato, sayonara.